There's this illusion we all tend to hold on to that once you've made it. Once you're in the spotlight, once your name trends worldwide and your bank account hits millions, the storms in life stop, but K-pop doesn't play by those fairytale rules. And if you've ever been a fan of GOT7, like what you're about to hear from, Yugyeom might hit you like a quiet heartbreak you didn't expect. I still remember the GOT7 debut era, 2014. Felt like the start of something revolutionary. They weren't just another group. They were the group, the energy they brought. The way they smashed through records and made fans from Seoul to São Paulo feel like part of the same family. So when we think of Yugyeom, we often forget they're human. Not superheroes, not untouchable. Just human. Recently, Yugyeom opened up in an interview with YouTuber Draw and Rudat, and when I say opened up, I don't mean just the usual behind-the-scenes stories or it was hard but I made it cliches. This was raw. It was real. He spoke not just as an idol, but as a man who had hit a wall financially, emotionally, and mentally. Yugyeom said he always thought of himself as a positive person, someone who could power through anything. And honestly, if you followed his journey, you'd believe that too. The kid who smiled through grueling dance practices, the one who stayed humble, even as stadiums screamed his name. He believed stress wouldn't catch up to him, that he was immune to slumps. But reality had other plans. It hit during the COVID-19 pandemic, a time when so many of us were facing isolation, uncertainty, and fear. For Yugyeom, it was more than just canceled shows. It was his income, his identity, and the pressure of being the breadwinner for his family. Imagine this, you're part of GOT7, a global K-pop sensation. Your group has toured the world. Your name is known in every fan circle, but at home, the schedules are empty. The calls aren't coming in. While your members have solo gigs or brand deals, your calendar is blank. You feel like you should be doing something, anything to help. But the world is on pause. Yugyeom admitted that he didn't have many individual promotions back then, while others were branching out into variety shows or solo performances. He was waiting, and in that waiting, he felt the weight of responsibility for his family, for himself, for the dreams he hadn't yet fulfilled. It's easy to assume someone like Yugyeom would be immune to financial stress. But when the performances stopped, so did the paychecks. And that's when it got real. He described that time with such honesty, saying he felt like he was losing himself. Just being idle, doing nothing, felt unbearable. That silence can be deafening, especially for someone used to constant motion. But here's where the story shifts, and where Yugyeom reminds us what resilience really looks like. Instead of letting the slump define him, he turned to what he knew best, music and dance. He said he locked himself in his room, making music day in and day out. No deadlines, no label breathing down his neck, just pure, raw creativity. He reached out to his old hyungs from the dance academy he went to in high school. They got together, they created choreographies, they practiced. Not for a show, not for fans, not even for money, but for themselves, to feel alive again. There's something deeply poetic about that. In the middle of a storm, when everything outside was frozen, Yugyeom built warmth inside his room, with melody, with movement, with memory. He didn't wait for inspiration, he summoned it. And fans, we felt that, we saw that. When the clip from the interview dropped, the comment section wasn't just full of sympathy, it was full of admiration. People praising him not for being flawless, but for being honest. For showing us that even K-pop idols have moments where they break, bend, and fall. And maybe that's the real takeaway here, because Yugyeom's story isn't just about struggle, it's about choice. He could have stayed down, he could have disappeared. But instead, he showed up for himself, he created, he practiced, he rose, and in doing so, he reminded us, the fans, that strength isn't just about smiling on stage. Sometimes it's about what you do when no one's watching. Just when we were still wiping tears from Yugyeom's raw confessions, Monsta X came in like a tidal wave of nostalgia and power, reminding us that K-pop isn't just about youth and trends. It's about evolution, legacy, brotherhood, and fans who never leave. So picture this, it's July 31st. Los Angeles is waking up. And there on KCAL News are the men of Monsta X standing tall, smiling, looking every bit like the icons they've become. But if you're a real Moan BB, this moment wasn't just exciting, it was emotional. Because it wasn't just a comeback interview, it was the moment. The moment they returned as a group to KCON LA. 9 years after their first appearance, 9 years of grinding, growing, and surviving the industry storms. 9 years of albums, losses, wins, member changes, and comebacks that felt like both war cries and love, letters to the fans who stood by them. On the KCAL broadcast, they talked about how surreal it felt to be back, and honestly, that hit hard. You could see it in their eyes, the way the stage wasn't just a platform anymore. It was memory, it was gratitude, it was survival, and while I couldn't be there due to health reasons, which they openly acknowledged with warmth and reassurance, his absence didn't feel like a loss. It felt like a reminder. This group doesn't move alone, even when one is resting. The others carry the banner high. They mentioned their digital album Now Project Volume .1, released back in May, a soft but powerful signal to fans that the full group wasn't done. That this wasn't just a nostalgic reunion. This was groundwork, a chapter opener, a promise. Then came the next day. KTLA 5 Morning News, a whole new vibe. This wasn't just reflection. It was future-facing fire. They spoke about the X, their upcoming mini-album set to drop on September 1, and if you listen closely to how they described it, a new beginning, a refreshing style. Reflecting on our 10-year journey, you realize it's more than a record. It's a rebirth. They're not just performing anymore, they're storytelling. The X isn't just a musical release. It's a declaration that Monsta X isn't going anywhere. That 10 years doesn't mean retirement, it means revolution, and fans, we felt every second of it. From the casual suits on TV to the way they teased the album's new sound, to that glimmer in their eyes, you could tell. They're not tired, they're not done. They're just smarter, sharper, hungrier. Earlier this summer, they already proved it. 3 sold-out nights at the KSPO Dome for their anniversary concert, Monsta X Connect X, a decade in, and they still have that electricity, that stage presence, that connection that makes fans scream like it's debut day all over again. And now, with KCO and LA 2025 lined up and the X on the horizon, the group is stepping into the next chapter not as rookies, not even as veterans, but as legends in the making, who never let the fire burn out. And if you've ever been a fan of Monsta X, even once, even in passing, you know exactly what kind of energy they bring when they say we're back. And just as Monsta X brought the heat with legacy and fire, twice Jihyo reminded us all what elegance looks like when it's lived, not forced. Because some idols perform beauty, but Jihyo, she breathes it. In the August edition of Singles Magazine Korea, Jihyo stepped into frame not just as Twice powerhouse leader, not just as a performer, but as a woman who has mastered the art of quiet confidence. One frame, one outfit, one gaze at a time. She reminded us why she's in a league of her own. From soft silhouettes to bold styling, her pictorial wasn't just a photo shoot. It was a visual diary of everything we love about her. Effortless charm, pose without pretense, beauty that doesn't beg for attention but earns it anyway. She glided through looks like it was second nature, the kind of style evolution that doesn't scream, but whispers, "I'm still growing," and you're lucky to witness it. And you could feel it. This wasn't just about clothes or makeup or angles. This was Jihyo. The same Jihyo who trained for nearly a decade. The same Jihyo who leads one of the most successful girl groups of all time with unwavering strength. The same Jihyo who's not afraid to speak up, stand tall, and redefine what idol means on her own terms. The vibe of the shoot was mature, but never stiff, fierce, but never aggressive. It was power in stillness, charisma without the chaos, and somehow, through the lens of a fashion magazine, Jihyo gave us a glimpse into where she is now, as a person, not just a performer. And let's not forget, this moment comes on the heels of Twice's recent comeback. This is 4, a track that felt like a love letter to the fans and a power anthem in one. Then came their Japan release Enemy, which hit differently. experimental, bold, a little darker, a little edgier, the duality. Chef's kiss. It's wild to watch how Jihyo and the rest of Twice inspiration continue to evolve, not just chasing trends but creating moments. Moments like this pictorial, where we pause, look at her and think, this isn't just beauty, this is presence. And honestly, that's what makes her iconic. Not just her vocals, not just her visuals, but the way she makes silence feel powerful and stillness feel electric. Jihyo isn't just a pretty face on a magazine cover. She's a mirror, reflecting back the strength, growth, and grace we're all trying to cultivate in ourselves and as fans. Watching her evolve is more than entertainment, it's inspiration. And right when we thought August couldn't get any more emotional, Taehyung reminded us, sometimes the strongest moments come in the quietest ways. On the finale episode of the season's Park Bo-gum's Cantabile, just when the lights were dimming and emotions were running high, the screen lit up with a surprise video message. And there he was, Kim Taehyung, via BTS. Not with a song, not on a stage, but with sincerity in his voice and a message that cut straight through the screen. You could feel the entire studio shift, like someone had pressed pause on time. Taehyung wasn't even in Korea. He was filming in the US, deep in the process of preparing for BTS's highly anticipated full group comeback. But still, he carved out this moment for his young, his friend, his ride or die since 2015, Park Bo-gum. And that, right there, is what makes Taehyung so unforgettable. It's not just the stage presence. It's not the model campaigns, the voice like Velvet, or the iconic fashion moments. It's the heart, the unwavering loyalty. He teased us too, casually dropping that BTS will be back in full force next spring with a new album. And even as he smiled into the camera, you could tell, the boy who once nervously debuted with 7 others is now a man who knows exactly what his presence means to fans, to friends, to the industry. But let's zoom in on the friendship. Taehyung and Park Bo-gum, their bond didn't happen under the spotlight. It was built in between takes, in late-night texts, in shared hobbies and genuine laughs. It started back in 2015. When BoGum was emceeing on Music Bank, they exchanged numbers, stayed in touch, and the friendship grew quietly, consistently. They've traveled together, supported each other at shows, and when BoGum posted Taehyung, "You were born to be loved" on his birthday, it didn't feel like a celebrity gesture. It felt like something a real friend would say. A reminder that love in this industry doesn't always come with cameras, and that's why this short video message felt so huge. It wasn't just for BoGum, it was for all of us. A reminder that some relationships in K-pop go beyond contracts and collaborations, that some bonds are built on trust, time, and shared seasons of life. And as fans, we're rooting just as hard for those friendships as we are for the comebacks. Taehyung didn't need to appear on the show physically to make it unforgettable. His voice, his warmth, and his words stitched the perfect ending to BoGum's journey on Cantabile, and in doing so, reminded us of one truth: idols may move across the globe, but their hearts stay connected. Now, with the BTS spring comeback on the horizon and a friendship that keeps giving us soft, emotional content, we're watching, waiting, and holding on to that beautiful kind of loyalty that only Taehyung and BoGum can deliver, as if our hearts hadn't already been pulled in every direction. From Yugyeom's quiet resilience to Monsta X's electric evolution, from Jihyo's serene power to Taehyung's warm loyalty, now comes a wave of nostalgia that hits deep. Teen Top is officially back. Yes, you heard that right. Teen Top, the legends who soundtracked our summer memories in the 2010s, the ones who gave us iconic choreographies, bold concepts, and more catchy hooks than we could count. They're making a full comeback, and it's not just any comeback. It's the 15th anniversary album, and it's coming fast. After a 2-year hiatus, the group announced their return with a new album titled Just 15, Just Teen Top, a name that feels like both a celebration and a statement. Because 15 years in this industry, that's not just rare. It's sacred. Set to drop on August 21st, this album isn't just about marking time. It's about reclaiming space. Teen Top is stepping back into a world that has changed. Dramatically, 4th and 5th gen groups now dominate the charts. Trends move at lightning speed, and attention spans are shorter than ever. But Teen Top doesn't need to chase anything, because their legacy is the moment. The teasers begin dropping August 4th, and fans are already on high alert. Concept photos, behind-the-scenes clips, and slow-drip content that makes you feel like you're back in high school, waiting for their next comeback stage on Inkigyo. But this time, it's different. This isn't just for views. This isn't about competition. This is about remembering why we fell in love with K-pop in the first place. Groups like Teen Top didn't just entertain us, they raised us. Their songs played in our headphones when we didn't know how to process our teenage feelings. Their choreos were the ones we tried to learn in our bedrooms at 2 a.m. and now they're back, not as boys, but as men who never gave up on the art. Just 15, just Teen Top, that name alone says everything. 15 years, but the same energy, the same fire. The same group that taught us how to scream fan chants with our whole chest. And the fact that they're doing this come back together after all these years. After the hiatus, after the quiet, that's loyalty. That's love. That's fan service in the purest, most heartfelt form. So when August 21st hits, it's not just a release date. It's a reunion. A celebration of every era, every fandom, and every fan who never stopped believing that old school K-pop never dies. It just waits for the perfect moment to rise again. So now, I want to hear from you. What moment hit you hardest this week? What comeback are you losing sleep over? What idol made you cry in the middle of the night for no reason other than they just get it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, because Daebak Daily isn't just a channel. It's your K-pop diary, and until next time, remember, they perform, we feel, they grow. We grow with them. Annyeong for now, and stay Daebak.